Hey guys, before we get to the video, which ought to be a great one, it's a 12-win Zappies deck. Yeah, never thought I'd say those words. And there's no Royal Ghost in it either. Loupanji working his magic. So a real treat for you guys on this deck. I did want to apologize for not uploading yesterday. Man, I realized how much I enjoyed doing this. I truly love creating YouTube content when I miss a day because it's like I lose sleep over it. I don't know why, but I'm just so, I don't know, I'm such in the routine of getting a video out day after day and then talking to you guys afterwards. Probably the best part about it in the comments. So anyway, guys, wanted to apologize. We're going through a blizzard, a crazy blizzard here in New England. I have over a foot of snow outside. It took me a few hours just to get to my office today. That's why this video is late and yesterday's video didn't happen. I was stranded in Boston overnight doing a Supercell event that actually got canceled. So guys, go ahead and enjoy the video.
So bad. So good that I'm so bad. I guarantee I'll be the greatest thing.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I am joined by Loupanji with his 12-win Zappies deck. I've selected a few replays that all came down to the wire that I'm excited to share with you guys. It's a really interesting deck, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. And I did mention in the intro, there's no Royal Ghost. So hopefully you guys, although it does have 3 legendary cards, we'll talk about substitutions. So Loupanji actually is starting a YouTube channel. He hasn't uploaded his first video yet, but it should be coming soon. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to him, guys, in the description below. Let's show him some Ash fam power on his YouTube channel. I'm sure it's going to be great content with amazing gameplay. I'm not sure if he's going to be speaking French or English yet. I think he's still deciding that right now. But over at Nova Creative, we're making him his branding and his overlay, so that ought to be really, really great. Shout out to Yousuf, the designer team lead there, team of great designers. Anyway, guys, this is a fun deck. Let's talk about the subs right off the bat here. We have Miner, we have Inferno Dragon, and we also have Mega Knight in this deck. So Miner, really, really difficult to substitute. If you sub in something for Miner, it really changes the complexity of the whole deck. You don't have that great punish card on little mini pushes or on pumps. You do have the poison, of course, in this deck as well. But by the way, guys, one quick interjection. This is the first time that you're seeing the Zappies used, and they're actually doing a really, really good job here on defense. Do you guys all think that Zappies sucks? I mean, is it pretty much agreed upon that they're not a good card? You know, I think that my and Loupanji's take is that they're an interesting card, and they do serve some utility. They're a useful card as well, and pretty unique. That stun ability is really cool, and the fact that they're a pack of 3, it's just an interesting card. Slow-moving as well. Really good on defense. But I think we both also agree that although they're a really cool card, they're just not a super powerful card right now. But I think that Supercell, I think it's basically guaranteed at this point that next balance changes, which should be like maybe within a month or so, maybe in a month and a half. They usually come about every 1.5 months. Anyway, they will receive a buff, and you're going to want to know how to play them. They're rare cards, so relatively easy to level up compared to a lot of the other cards introduced into the game as of late. It feels like there's been so many epics and legendaries lately, huh, guys? I mean, maybe that's just totally placebo, and it hasn't been that way. There was Skeleton Barrel, there was Zappies, obviously. Anyway, I digress. So you can see here, a pretty good job defensively. He has to rely on the Miner pretty heavily in this deck defensively, so if you want to sub in for Miner, you can go ahead and sub maybe an Ice Golem or a Knight, I guess. I guess that would be the best sub. If you want to have that offensive versatility, you can sub in a Hog and get a little bit crazy. For Inferno Dragon, you can go ahead and always, you can sub in Inferno Tower, obviously has the same sort of utility, and for the Mega Knight, you can sub in P.E.K.K.A., changing the complexity of the deck again, but still having that big, or you can get crazy and even sub in a Giant Skeleton. So you have a few options there for the legendary cards. Ideally, though, you have all the cards in the deck. Of course, we all wish we did, right? But anyway, you can see Sparky's doing a good job defensively here, and this thing is tied up, basically, into overtime right now. 377 HP left on Angel YouTube. Shout out to Angel YouTube. I wonder if he's a real YouTuber. One of you, I'm sure, will go out there and find out. So here it comes. This is the 12-win, by the way, and just in the nick of time, got that tower down with that final poison, Miner, and Zap. So nice 12-win there. I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to my YouTube sponsor of the day, Medi. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. Really appreciate it, man. And thank you to all my sponsors. You can tell they're a sponsor by that little avatar next to their name in the comments. Maybe I'll change that, by the way. I don't know. We'll talk about it. So this is obviously a Miner Skeleton Barrel deck at its core. Minor Poison, and Minor Poison has evolved a bit, right? Minor Poison, same like Control. Control's also evolved to include Goblin Hut, right? So Control's evolved in a lot of big ways, so has Minor, and now it seems like basically every Minor deck, I will be having Tag, by the way, on the channel next week to talk about this more in depth, but it seems like every Minor deck nowadays has Skeleton Barrel. It's because they just go together so well. And you can see here, I mean, Loupanji may be a little bit too assertive with that last Skeleton Barrel, but he's still able to play defense really well with his deck. As far as a Minor Poison deck goes, this deck has pretty good defensive power in it. You have the Inferno Dragon, obviously. You have Zappies, right? Zappies do a good job defensively. As you can see here, you know, killing that P.E.K.K.A. and holding things up on the Dark Prince and the Prince. Of course, that really nicely timed Zap by Morbo at the top there allows that Dark Prince to get a lot of damage on the tower. Loupanji forced to respond with a zap of his own. However, not looking so great about halfway through the match almost in this second match here. So he's going against this very interesting. We just talked about how I just moved my camera. Oh my god. Oh my god. Let me move it back with my foot. My freaking feet, man. Okay. Too bad I already have an intro today. I can make a funny one out of that. Anyway, so this is like a very interesting deck that Morbo is playing here. Remember, this is I think this is the 11th win of the challenge, so it got pretty far. It's a lot of splash defense. It's an annoying deck to go against. I don't know about you guys, but going against the Tornado is so annoying, and a very good Tornado there by Morbo, but Loupanji able to thankfully get those skeletons to pull that P.E.K.K.A. back. He's forced to use a Mega Knight right on that P.E.K.K.A. there, preventing her from getting to that right tower. So with this deck, the thing that you really want to do here is, and you saw in the first match, some of you might have noticed, is you want to let your opponent make the first move. There's no real ideal first play, so it's a very responsive deck early on. So that's how you're going to be playing this deck, right? You're going to be playing it a lot of counter pushes with this deck. Think of it more as a reactive deck rather than a proactive deck. So you're not going to be playing it like, you know, bait or like a hog deck where you're pretty aggressive. This is definitely one of those decks for people out there who are more comfortable being a bit more passive and reactive. If your opponent has their big counter out of hand, misplaced zap there by Morbo really cost them the game in this match. If your opponent has their counter out of hand for Skeleton Barrel, you can go in with the Minor Skeleton Barrel. Or on the counterattack, you can just go in with the Minor to use in combination with your remaining defensive troops. Zappies aren't necessarily super strong on offense, but they are really, really good on defense. Again, doing work here. I mean, this is a 12-win Grand Challenge deck played by the great Loupanji, so that's not saying too much. You could probably win Grand Challenges with anything, but I'll tell you what, I did reach out to a few pros and asked if they wanted to get a 12-win, and a lot of them were like, no, I don't want to even bother with Zappies. But Loupanji said he actually made this deck work, and he actually enjoyed the deck after playing it. It's funny, he said in chat, some of you might have noticed, he said in chat, after 40 games in a row, he played 2 Grand Challenges. He got 11 in the first one, he got 12 in the second one with the same deck. He said after 40 games playing Zappies, because that's the most he's ever played, you can see maybe on the battle deck below there, guys, I haven't even upgraded my Zappies at all yet. I barely played them at all myself. Just not wasting my time with them, but it's interesting to see a pro utilize them, and you can see the potential that Zappies do have. I think, again, they will be buffed in the next update. So here we go, the third match here against another P.E.K.K.A. deck. P.E.K.K.A. just does not go away in the meta. There's PPP, there's P.E.K.K.A. Control, and there's all sorts of different variations like this one. Look at this, it's like a minor P.E.K.K.A. Ewiz deck. Interesting, played by Ismail on the bottom. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and use our Mega Knight against that Royal Ghost, and of course we're using the Skeleton Barrel in the back. You can see how Loupanji oftentimes just cycles in the back when there's no obvious play instead of leaking Elixir. So he'll even cycle the Mega Knight with this deck, which is something that I found interesting. You don't always see players cycling Mega Knight. So good bats there by Loupanji, able to take down that P.E.K.K.A. Very well played there by Loupanji on that exchange. So at this point, yeah, you know, going back to the deck utility, how you're going to be playing this deck, you can cycle in the back of your King Tower. He's not even afraid to cycle the Mega Knight, or just send a solo Skeleton Barrel. I think that was meant to distract it was either meant to distract the Mega Minion or was meant to circumvent it. I'm not sure, but either way, it actually ends up working out here. This time, Ismail actually landed that zap spell, but oftentimes, if your opponent does have a good counter to Skeleton Barrel, they'll either miss the zap, or even if they have like a poison, your skeletons will still get a couple hits hits off before they die. So Skeleton Barrel is just such a powerful card now, even with the death damage. You guys already know this probably, but if you combo a Zap and Skeleton Barrel, 2 cards in this deck, you can take out minions if the Skeleton Barrel's death damage is in the radius of the minions, and goblins as well. So it really does give a nice synergy to the Zap spell with the Skeleton Barrel. So Zappies, again, you can see basically defensively they're really solid, you know, and they can go ahead and really hold this P.E.K.K.A down. Even a P.E.K.K.A Ewiz push. And look at the P.E.K.K.A. I mean, she's not moving, really. I don't think we even necessarily needed that Inferno Dragon there. The Zappy's just doing work along with the Princess Tower. Here comes the Miner on the counterattack, and we have Zappies, but Zappies are going to go down to Royal Ghost. That hurt, man. See, that's the problem with Royal Ghost. They have the OP Royal Ghost, and then you have the weaker Zappies, and we saw who took that exchange there. So now it's going to be a Mega Knight coming in with Bats for Loupanji. Needs to get something going. So this is going to be a really big push here for Loupanji. It's going to be the Skeleton Barrel, the Mega Knight, the Inferno Dragon. He has the poison selected. He's waiting on to see what the opponent does, excuse me. And here it comes. He's going to use a poison against that. Take down that Ice Spirit before it reaches the Inferno Dragon. Also almost kill the Mega Minion and the E-Wiz there. Again, leaning heavily on that Mega Knight to do some work defensively. So here it goes again. We're pretty much tied up here going into overtime again. I told you these would be 3 close matches, and indeed they are, guys. So here it comes. It's a Mega Knight against the P.E.K.K.A. This time the Skeleton Barrel is going to indeed get to the tower there. Has the E-Wiz selected, does the opponent, getting ready to counter that Skeleton Barrel. So that the opponent has the E-Wiz and Poison and Zap. So a lot of answers to Loupanji's deck. Loupanji's still able to come out victorious. This is a really big push here for Ishmael, and you can see Zappy's just, again, you know, I'm not saying they're great, but they're not awful in situations like that. They can really shut down a big push, as you saw there. So here it comes. We're still tied in this match. Unfortunately, the Miner runs right into that Royal Ghost, and the Skeleton Barrel is taken care of, cleaned up by that E-Wiz. Again, Zappy's on defense here. Unfortunately, one Zappy starts rolling in the left lane, but here comes the Inferno Dragon, and one remaining Zappy is going to be able to take care of that Royal Ghost before he reaches the tower. In fact, before he even gets one hit off on that Zappy. So here we go with the big push, guys. A Miner, more chip damage with that Miner. This is really a chip deck in a lot of ways. Has the poison this time, and like I said, poison oftentimes can result in a few hits of those skeletons. So again, this one is neck and neck, guys. 2 Inferno Dragons on the tower, get a little bit more chip damage. Meanwhile, a poison on Loupanji's tower. This is an epic match here. And oh no, I think that was basically GG there. Gets the Miner to the tower along with the poison. Loupanji's going to finish off this one with a bang, picking up that victory. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this Zappies deck. It feels weird even to say that. Zappies deck, huh? Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I had a blast. Maybe this winter weather is getting to my head. What do you think? Feel a little crazy, a little loopy in this video. But guys, I hope you enjoyed it anyway. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Huge shout out to him. You can check out his information in the description below. Thank you again, guys, and as always, take care, guys.